Hello everybody and welcome back to DRC Digital Racing Championship, and we are here for round 4 and it is at the Chinese Grand Prix. It is going to be double the action as there's going to be a sprint race as well. So it is going to be, of course, sprint and then the main race, no qualifying. So the sprint race grid is going to be of the championship. It's going to be the reverse grid of the championship basically, and then as soon as that is ready we will be out going racing. And so it's going to be reverse championship grid in that sprint race, and then obviously this race grid is going to be from the results of this sprint race. So just let's have a look at the championship before we get started. We're apparently waiting for just one more driver, but I just wanted to start this off early and hopefully the stream is going to be fine as well. So looking at the Drivers' Championship at the moment, Justin leads ahead of Chandra with Matthew in P3. That means those three are going to be your bottom 3 drivers in this sprint race start. That has to be the case. At the moment, 20 drivers in this championship, 2 more, Wraith and Volk. I wonder if all 3 or any of them is out here in this session at the moment. There's a couple of new drivers as well, I believe, but apparently whoever is racing, Joel. So Joel is racing. He's currently 16th in the championship and doesn't have any points. So with that, that should mean that he's going to be starting in P1 from pole for the sprint race. Then second should be Croissant. I wonder if he is in here as well, as we just make this championship order. Let me actually get this here so we'll know actually who's racing and whatnot, and also get the idea of what's... Okay, so Timur is racing. He's currently at the moment P20 in the championship, so he should be on pole for that race. And Wraith in P19, as if he races, he's going to be in P2. We're just going to do, obviously, not every race, every single driver races, so it could be up and down a little. Apologies about that, but we are going to be at it in a while. And apologies if you've seen the wrong stream title. That should be changed as well. I do not have the access for that, so whoever has the main account access should be able to do that. So hopefully that should be done in a little bit. So apologies if that is changed, but let's get back to our focus then. So Rip Timur, then P20, Wraith P19, so that's P2, Alessandro P3, and then it is Mark in P4. It should be Joel P5. So that's going to be the reverse grid, basically. At the moment, Justin leads. And look at that. Justin 1 in Bahrain, P2 in at Austin in the United States. Then P3 in UAE. Is a P4 waiting for him in the wings. 3 rounds, and he's achieved 3 different positions. And that's in order of 1, 2, 3. He's got a good opportunity to go in alphabetical orders. But just kidding. I mean... It's obviously P1, 2, and 3 are nice results, but obviously that is thing. And we've obviously started the stream as well, as we're apparently waiting for one more driver still. EA, as always, being what it does. So yeah, so Chandra in P2, 50 points as well. Only 8 points separating the top 2. 12 points behind is Matthew, who's also just ahead. 7 points ahead of Ben in P4, followed by Dylan in P5. 29 points for them. And on equal points is Maisco and George in P6 and 7. With 12 points, it is RD Gamer, who had his first race in DRC this season, achieved a P4 at the UAE, obviously, which is Abu Dhabi, I should say, not UAE. Abu Dhabi, then Abhinav Kumar, I believe that's King James, with 9 points, along with Casper as well. Again, similar points with 3 drivers. Casper, Abhinav, and Ian, all 3 have P10, 11, 12 on equal points. 6-4 Suzuki and McKenzie with 4, followed by Croissant with 2 points. Then moving up towards the Constructors' Championship. At the moment, 66 points to Haas as they lead the Constructors' Championship at the moment, but only 4 points ahead of Mercedes, who are in P2. Red Bull, our current winner, okay, they're not actually current winners, obviously. There was back in Swift. I was about to say that Red Bull won the constructors, but they are in 60 points, 6 points behind Haas, and only 2 behind Mercedes. Sauber with P4, 47 points to them. Aston Martin 29, 21 to Ferrari, and 18 to McLaren. 3 teams still yet to score a point: Alpine, Williams, and Racing Bulls. Those 3 teams still unable to score points. Who do you, ladies and gentlemen, think is going to be able to win this race, or is going to be at the top of the times here in this one? Obviously, Timur, is going to be starting in P1 for the sprint. It's going to be 10 laps of the sprint race, and then 28 laps for the main Grand Prix, which is going to be nothing but somewhat fun as well. So it's going to be all types of players, all types of drivers, I should say, for us to have a look at, as we are still just waiting for one more driver apparently at the moment, which is obviously James. And let me actually so now let me actually have a look at the stream myself. Hopefully should be alright. That's what the internet at the moment says, which should be great. Alright, I just say that and it drops down drastically. So hopefully it's going to be okay. At least you guys will be able to see everything out there. And looking at the title, at the moment it's not fixed. So hopefully it should be fixed at the moment. Basically, I don't have the access to fix it. I've just added, stream key into my OBS. So for that reason, I actually cannot edit the stream title, which apparently, and there we go. Do we have, no we don't. Apparently at the moment still have the driver, but as soon as they're in, we'll be starting, as this is just a bit of a delay, so apologies about that. But as soon as that is in, we'll be ready to go. Remember, there's a reverse championship order grid for the sprint race, which is going to be 10 laps here at the Chinese GP, the Shanghai International Circuit. And then we'll move on to the main race, which is going to be 28 laps of racing. So extra bits of things going on for this one. Not extra bits, I mean 10 laps in a sprint race or 18 minutes of qualifying kind of would be similar. There won't be much more of a difference, but still sprint. 2 races to do, and obviously racing comes will-to-will action, and obviously with that, the action is more out on track. That means more energy and more fun, obviously, for all of you watching, which is a great opportunity as well, obviously, to enjoy racing. So hopefully it's going to be one by these drivers that we enjoy. Oh shit. I don't know what it was. Apparently, okay, I basically typed a message and then the mic was muted. So apologies, you guys. Have I don't know for how long you weren't hearing me. Hopefully that I don't unmute it during that. All right then. So it's loading screens are taking too long. That means James will not be coming with us, and we are gonna be starting. Ready up, and let's go racing, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully nobody starts or readies up straight away, but eventually hope for the best. So obviously everybody's going to try and choose their setups and then get to going for the sprint race. It's going to be just 10 laps, but those 10 laps are very vital. Remember, wherever they finish in the sprint race will be the place they start in the main race. So it's absolutely important to finish at the top, or at least in good positions, especially for those who are at the top of the championship. Those at the top of the championship will be starting at the bottom in this sprint race. And at the moment, actually the game audio might be a little bit lower. Basically, I do some Gran Turismo as well, which, which basically has a lot of audio in terms of those cars. I don't know why, but basically they have just some more noise in terms of, got more noise coming onto the stream basically. So because of that, I have to lower down the game audio so that everybody can hear me. My mic crystal clear, and I think we'll keep that here as well. As long as we can hear a slight bit of game noise, at least it's not completely mute, but then obviously we'll move on. Obviously, then we can continue on, as you guys hopefully should be able to get myself on the mic as well. I don't remember whether we did previous week or not. I believe we did, and look at that. It is as dark as not as much as the drivers would have want, but it is. And that darkness means it is not gonna be raining. At least it's not raining about right now. So maybe they start on a set of soft compound tires, but rain could well be coming up. It could well apparently be a thing, ladies and gentlemen. As we are getting started, there should be a formation lap, and there is indeed a formation lap out there. As Alright, so the audio should be enough about that. Basically, the problem with Gran Turismo even was that if anybody was listening it on phone screens, it was fine, but on TV, apparently the game audio was taking over my audio, so I think it's going to be okay. And look at that. Alright, so Mark is starting in the front, so maybe they would have had a different name in the championship rather than in-game. So let's actually have a look at one more look on the Drivers' Championship then. So that's going to be Mark, obviously. Okay, his name is correct, but that is M-A-R-C, and in-game is M-A-R-K. So that's the case then. Mark, Timur in P2, Welder in P3, Reaper in P4 in the Williams then. So nice and about time for these guys to get a bit of a chance at the top, and every single one of them for these 10 laps at the Chinese Grand Prix is going to be there. And look at that. I mean, it's very early to call, but Mark, as it looks like, might have been a bit of an inexperience. I won't say inexperience, but kind of that, because he's far ahead of everyone, and he's trying to get those tires warmed up, but you have to form up the grid. You have to run with the grid, because otherwise if you reach up to the top very early, look at that, now he's slowing down, maybe allowing others to catch up, but they're far at the back. And if you get up there very early on the grid spot, by the time everybody comes up, by the time the whole grid forms up, your own tires will eventually be cold up. Your tires are not gonna have enough temperature. You need to have enough temperature. You need to have enough tire temperature that gets you at least enough amount of grip that could get you over the line nice and easy. Obviously, as you go on to the race and do nice, you have apparently you can warm your tires up obviously as soon as the race is started, but unless and until you know, you have good temperature at the race start, you get a good start, but if not, you don't really get it. So Mark starts on pole with Timur in P2, Walday in P3 for the sprint race here at China, Gap Reaper in P4, followed by Joel in P5, Thunder in P6, and then Hart comes in 7th, Masquerader in 8th, ROD in 9th, then Maisco in 10th. Just after the top 10, Juno, Striker, Prototype, Jagu. Yeah, Jagu, then comes Harry, Raid, and gameplay by David, along with Abhishek and Batman. As we are about to get started for the sprint race here at the Chinese Grand Prix, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the lights are out, and we go racing here at Shanghai. It's going to be a good start for our Polton, but a very good start for Timur as well. Then well done, that McLaren, just ahead of Joel in P4. Reaper might be getting overtaken, and there is already chaos heading towards turn 1. We weren't even getting past turn 1 yet, as Reaper is going to find himself towards the runoff area on the track, and he's got it without a front wing. Hart at the back as well. He's got no damage. That is ironically a brilliant save from this one, because he started in P7 but no damage for him. It should get, it's at least going to be enough in terms of a big chaos at the start. There was a Mercedes at the front as well. Abhishek is getting started. Meanwhile, in P18 it is Harry at the moment. A main Mercedes driver, James, wasn't James, I wonder if it was Justin, I believe it was, who's not coming in today, who leads the championship, so he would have been starting last, but apparently it was one Mercedes. Now at the back it is Hart, who's going to try and get past David. David's going to run for super wide, and through is going to be Hart, and he's going to be ahead of David there. There's going to be problems as Abhishek is going to try and get past the Aston Martin, and he goes to the back of the Mercedes of Thunder, and it's going to damage the front wing on that Haas, as I'm not sure what he was trying to do. They just sent it on the inside line. Obviously he was trying to overtake, but maybe not the time or way you want to do, and already problems for drivers. Then Abhishek in P14 at the moment, P13 for Maisco it is. He's going to try and get past Batman. Is Batman going to use all his forces as a superhero? Yes, he at least can do it right now, as he's going to be able to defend from Maisco, but not long enough. Maisco comes back at him, but not enough there, as he nearly loses the car on the exit of turn 14, I believe that is. And he nearly lost that action once more. Maisco's going to have an opportunity to get past Batman there, heading towards turn 1. DRS is not going to be enabled just yet. The DRS is enabled, but he's not going to get it there around the outside. He's going to have the inside line. Batman! And there's going to be another problem. They were side by side, and he just touches his wheels on the RB. And problems for Maisco. He's going to have a spun round as Reaper has retired from the session. David goes super wide, and that's going to allow Maisco to get past. Let's go back to the front of the field. And look at that. Jagu's trying to fight out Striker. Striker's trying to fight out Jagu. They're going to be side by side, will to will between the two. As Jagu's going to be through and ahead of Striker. He might try and get past the other the other Red Bull as well. Will he be able to do it? Not just yet. But look at that. Prototype is already at the front. Meanwhile, Joel, Raid, Walday, or Owl have fallen back. Meanwhile, Prototype in P8, P7 for Striker. Jagu in P6. With Juno in P5, then RD has got a good jump as well in P4. Masquerader in P3, but at the top, these two are going at it as well. The top two are as they were at the race start. Mark Creford and Timur are at the front of the field, 5-10 separating the two. Mark has already moved left and right. He's weaving down the straight to try and break the slipstream, break the toe. Is Timur going to go for it? No, he will not. And he does take care of that, and that might just allow him, as Mark Crawford has got the pressure on himself, and he might have just taken that pressure as he runs super wide. Just about comes enough in time for Timur to not get past him, but he might just get past him about now, as the DRS is going to be open and the rear wing's gone, and he's going to be on as he takes the lead of the sprint on lap 3 out of 10. Remember, this is for position, this is for grid spot in the main race, so you, wherever you finish in this one, you're going to be starting the main race in that one. 28 laps, as they're going to touch about cars, and there might just be a bit of a damage on that Red Bull, on those side pots, as there's going to be a slight bit of contact between Masquerader and Juno, as there's going to be the Haas of Jago. He's going to go for it on the inside line. Masquerader around the outside. They're going to be wheel to wheel. They nearly touch wheels. They're still going to be side by side, and the rear of Jago's car almost makes contact with the front of Masquerader, but just about enough to not make contact, and I hope the stream's going to be alright, hopefully, to get you guys all the action with the amazing visual quality as well. We're only 3 laps in, and already racing's on, and everybody is brilliantly playing it, but look at that timer. I mean, he might have, Timur might have not scored points, might have not have any points in the Drivers' Championship up until now, but he leads a sprint by 1.5 seconds. Remember, 8 points, whoever wins this race. It is obviously from P1 to P8. The points should be 8 points for P1, 7 for P2, 3 for P6, and so on till P8. There's going to be an opportunity for the Ferrari. No, he doesn't quite go for it, and Krefot's gone wide. Krefot's gone absolutely wide and almost left Shanghai there, as he's going to try and come back at him, and Juno's now going to be right behind as well. Krefot's tires are either gone, I don't believe within 2 laps his tires are going to be on. Maybe his speed is not on anymore, or his... Oh, he's just taking on that pressure. He at least hold on to that lead for a couple of laps, but not anymore, as he's going to be side by side, wheel to wheel between Juno and Mark. There's still going to be wheel to wheel between the two. Right behind comes Jagu. There might be a threat for Mark to lose. Not 1 but 2 positions. Nearly spins out Juno and the Red Bull. Just about keeps it on track and keeps it up at the front. And ahead of Mark goes Juno, and he finally gets the overtake done. So does Jagu. He's almost going to try and get past Juno there. Can't quite do it, but the overtake for both of them is done, and Mark has now lost out a couple of positions, as Striker is now going to get past Mark as well, and Mask Rayturn's not far behind as well, so soon he might just be able to get past him as well at the front, and he's going to be able to get past him around the outside, sweeps around the outside, or is he though? Because Mark's going to come back at him. He's not going to back out easy of it at all, and there's not going to be an overtake for Crater, at least for now, as in fact Prototype's going to try and get an overtake on Crater. Oh, there's going to be side by side, a bit of problem for them almost, as he sent it on the inside line. But he's going to be able to do it. He's just going to be safe. Meanwhile, drivers at the front, there's a gap is a lot, and Timur is at the front of the field, as Jagu's going to try and get past drivers. He is going to get past at least Juno, and up into P3 for the grid spot of the main race. Timur is in P1 at the moment. 9/10 the gap between Timur and RD. Is RD going to be able to get his first... not pole position, but obviously pole start, at least P1 start for him maybe. You know, might not be able to qualify P1, but at least a pole position start, which is going to be nice, as one of the drivers, which is David. We saw him have a couple of mistakes earlier on, but now we know why, as they had a problem with their force feedback. I believe, I hope the game was alright, because for a moment it felt like there was a huge lag, which, not sure why, but today I'm feeling like it, because I don't know why, but apparently somewhat maybe problems with the capture card. But look at this then, the two McLarens in P9 and 10 are fighting for positions. Masquerade is going to have to defend. Will he be able to do it though? Down the inside line goes Raid, and he's going to send it there. This is going to be wheel to wheel between Crater and Raids, as Raid's not going to be able to defend or keep up his position, and Crater's going to be past him and ahead up back into P8. Crater was at the front. He might have made a mistake then. Or in fact, no, Prototype was also past him as well, but Prototype almost, I would have thought, is going to get past Mark quite nice and easy, but hasn't been able to do it just about now. Is Raiders going to go for it on the inside? No, he doesn't quite do the job done about just now. 5 laps in, lap 5 out of 10, and the action is on. The track is hot, ladies and gentlemen, here at China. No strategy to worry about, nothing to save, nothing to manage, as all the drivers are going for it, and Radi's going to go for it on the inside lane. He's going to send a move long way back, and he's going to get the move done, but Timur is going to come back at him. This is going to be wheel to wheel. He's not going to let him have it easy at all. Into the final corner, he's going to have the inside line, and he's going to be ahead. Both of them go road wide, and that might allow Jagger to come at these guys. And again, the DRS is going to be on the Ferrari. They're going to be wheel to wheel between the two, heading towards turn 1. Timur is going to lose that lead, and RD is going to take it on lap 6 out of 10. Remember, wherever they finish in this race, they're going to be starting in the feature race, obviously, which is going to be 28 laps of racing. So you want to fight for the best position. You want to have the best position for the main race. And now Timur's tires might be gone, as Jagu's going to come at him as well around the outside. He's not going to leave it out, though. He's not going to leave it out. He's going to hang it in there. Nearly loses the car. Has a bit of a moment on the exit. So definitely his tires might just about be gone now. We're only halfway distance, just in 5 laps into lap 6, but maybe he would have pushed a little bit too much. Maybe he would have pushed a lot more than he should have. and his tires could have ran out of grip. So there is a driver on the hard compound tire, and you know why. That is Prototype. He might just try and get past about Mark about right now. Can't quite do it at all. But a car right behind them is going to be Raiders, and Redverse is going to be at these guys. He's going to do all he can. He's going to perform at his best, getting the job done. Will he be able to do it just about now? Jaguar at the front is going to try and get past RD. He will be past RD, and so will be Prototype. He's going to try and get past Mark, and he will be past Mark and all those drivers who started at the front. I believe Waldo left this session apparently, but so looking at details at the moment, everybody on a set of mediums apart from Prototype and a set of hards. 13 positions on for Jakku from the back of the grid to P1. Currently leads this sprint. 7 positions for RD as well. Only 1 down for Timur. I think he has to be actually... he is the best driver then. Only 1 position lost. So Masquerade has lost 1, but he already started in P8. Considering starting on pole, and all those drivers usually down in the championship, no points scored. Obviously all eyes are on them, or in terms of, or maybe no eyes are on them in a way that what's gonna be. And Maisco, people are complaining about Maisco being a bit of a dangerous driver. Apologies for not focusing on the drivers at the back, unfortunately, as Harry is down in P18. He might have made a mistake, and David, I don't know if I said this or not, that he's at force feedback issues, so he might not have force feedback at all. Meanwhile, Batman down in P16 as well. Maisco in P15. Thunder in P14 has lost out of positions as well. That is interesting then. Meanwhile, Abhishek is in P13. That was a bit of a look up from Abhi. Art is going to be P12. Veldai in P11. Joel in P10. Drivers at the front, or at least for points, they're going to be trying to fight as Raid's going to try and get past Grefford. He's going to be past Grefford. What about Crater? He's going to go for it on the inside line as well. He nearly goes into the back of the McLaren. There might have just been a bit of contact on the back of that McLaren. That tap was from the Aston Martin, but just about enough will Raid do to keep that P7. Remember, P8 is the last scoring position that gets you points, so they're all going to be at it, as Grefford's not going to be able to do it. Maybe he can though, because that rear wing is still on that Alpine. So the job and the time is not just done about yet. Up 8 out of 10. So anything could come or anything could go in these moments just yet. 4/10s between the 2 Red Bulls. Juno and Striker maybe staying where they are, trying to stay where they are. At the front, Jakku has got a good boost up after taking the lead and showing all the speed and pace that he has apparently got at the moment. As 1.6 seconds between the top 2, the gap is only 4/10s between RD and Timur. Timur might try and get past RD there. RD will definitely do everything to defend. Only 6/10s the gap between the 2, but that P2 would be precious, and some points for Timur as well. He's going to be doing everything at the moment to try and get past him at the moment to get a P2. Obviously a front row start in the sprint, and the front row start for the main race is going to be a cherry on top for Timur there, because he's going to be doing everything, all he can, to start up at the front. As look at this then, that's going to be a chance for Ray to get past Prototype as well. Proto currently in P6 at the moment. He hasn't been able to progress, at least just yet, to get closer to the Red Bulls. At the moment stays in P6 so far. Meanwhile at the front, he's weaving around, but no, he's chilling as he is. But RD might be in a bit of pressure now. Timur has we're now on lap 9 out of 10. So 2 laps remaining, including this one. Only 1 after this one as it stands. So that is gonna be interesting to say the least. So the back of the grid, Harry 9 seconds now, because David might have been making mistakes. Obviously, driving without force feedback, it's absolutely... it's a horrendous experience. It's almost experience of like you don't want to have. You'd either retire and then drive without force feedback, because you're just not in control of the car at all. Well, enough of the force feedback talking. Let's go at the front back once more. It is about these positions. It is about the last few positions. Who's going to get there? The two Red Bulls still hold position. Striker hasn't been able to get past Juno, or he hasn't tried an overtake on him then. Raiders, meanwhile, is on at him. Nearly makes a mistake on the exit there. And surprisingly, Prototype being on that hard compound tire. Maybe he was on the wrong tire though, because sure, you'd be like, okay, the medium tires are going to run out of grip in a couple of laps. I'm going to be on the hard tire to try and go for it, but he hasn't been able to do it at all. As Timur is still going to be staying behind the Ferrari. He still stays there. He hasn't went for the overtake. He hasn't tried the overtake. The best opportunity, I think, would be around that back straight DRS on the final lap of the Grand Prix, because otherwise there might be a chance for you to get overtaken back again. Meanwhile, Hart is going to be there on the inside of Joel as Joel runs absolutely wide, but Hart is going to be far behind him to go for an overtake at the moment. Walda in P12, Abhishek in P13, with Thunder in P14, followed by Maisco, Batman, David, Harry in P18, Reaper in P19, who retire out of this one and is out, not part of the sprint. Meanwhile, Thunder and Maisco are going to be going at it. These guys are going to be at it, but let's get to the front. It's the final lap of the sprint, ladies and gentlemen, here at China. Whatever position they get, they'll be starting from that in that main race, remember. This was the reverse championship start for this sprint. 10 laps of racing. Timur started at the front row in the sprint race. Can he start on the front row in the main race as well? That is question time. Will be replying, but not at the moment. And he runs absolutely wide. He's made a huge mistake, and he's going to lose out another position. He's made a big mistake then, heading towards the big left-hander. There would have been a problem. Now he's going to be side by side with Striker. He might just get DRS. I'm not sure about that, but he's definitely now not going to be starting where he would have wanted to. He could have had a top 3 start, and now it's not going to be the case for him. Now, even if he could get a top 4 start, that's going to be a brilliant, as the Red Bull of Judah Striker's going to go absolutely to the back of Timur, and he's going to knock him off as over the finish line. It's going to be Jagu who's going to take victory here in China in the sprint race. RD in P2, Juno in P3, and Striker in the end does get P4, but I wonder what exactly happened between Timur and Striker. That Timur was moving left and right, but I think he just went into it. Either Timur braked too early, or Striker couldn't brake in time and went into the back of him. Almost reminded me of the 2018 Red Bulls. Since in between the two Red Bulls in 2018 at Baku. Prototype gets P5, P6 for Raid. Remember, these are the positions everybody started in the main race. Timur, I think, had a brilliant race up until that point. Was nearly getting that P4. Now in P7 he is. Masquerator in P8. Started there, couldn't progress at all. Creford, in the end, a decent one, P9 and 10 result for the Alpine team. P11 for Abhishek there, and that is the end, ladies and gentlemen. That was an absolute chaotic end to this sprint here at China. Hope you all really had fun, as the drivers are apparently talking, and the audio is currently coming up from my control speaker. So this is the end, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be your grid for the main race as well. Jagu finishes in P1, wins a sprint from 14th on the grid. Then it's going to be RD in P2 with Juno, Striker, Prototype, Raid, Timur, Masquerator, Creford, Joel completing the top 10. Abhishek and Hart in P11 and 12. I wonder if there's going to be a lobby restart, or we're going to be starting just about here, not just don't just know yet. And there you go. Next time, don't ready. All right. Somebody might have just readied up actually from the main from the sprint as well. And we were told that nobody has it. But all right, turn 14, lap T4 lap 1. Obviously not sure what this as it says, do we crash in the main race now? So not sure what happened there. But all right, so there might just be a lobby restart here, I believe, because obviously everybody's going to be crashing out. So that means that is going to be the case. So obviously there's a bit of an incident at the start as well, so not quite sure what exactly happened, as everybody is leaving, so that definitely means that obviously we do a lobby restart. let's hope for the best. And honestly, pretty not keen to do a restart because sometimes the servers as they are, they just wouldn't let you join in. So apparently, which means that it's not gonna be 50-50, obviously a little bit more than 50-50, but it's just a bit tricky all the times, especially with EA. It has happened to me, even just about now before the stream has started. I joined the session, and then my PlayStation turned off, so I had to join again, and then it wouldn't letting me join in for a bit of a time, and then again I had to wait for a couple of minutes, and it has already had issues for all these drivers. And I hope you all watching really enjoyed it. That sprint race was definitely somewhat chaotic towards the end there, and a lot of overtakes from these drivers as well. So aggressive. A lot of drivers who I saw were quite aggressive. So I think it just you were okay then. So yeah, basically, as I was saying, obviously a lot of aggressive drivers. So I think Jagu looks with strong pace. He has very good pace for sure. Some at the front. I think Timor has a good speed as well. So is RD, and RD gamer eventually. I wonder if Hart is back into the session. That's perfect. We've just got an invite. Hopefully it lets us join in, because earlier on I joined off Hart, who's obviously on the same platform, but the EA invite wasn't even getting to me earlier on. That's brilliant, as we've just got an invite from Prototype to join the new session. So ladies and gentlemen, that was your racing for the sprint race. Obviously, the grid is going to be getting set up for the main race as well. So as soon as that is ready and we are ready to go racing for the 28 laps of the Chinese Grand Prix, we'll be back. Up until then, still stay there. Don't go anywhere. Grab your popcorns and sit in front of your TV screens to enjoy the great racing action just in a few moments' time. And again, it's thank God I joined. There was no issues for me, but apparently there are issues for some of the drivers. We've got 15 of them, so hopefully only a few of them, which should be only 4 of them, as we had 19 earlier. So only 4 drivers now remain, but it's not going to be an issue. So still, again, the EA drama continues on so far about right now, and Jagu says just race, but uh, Waldo says he's not going to take part. Alright then. I mean, even if he can, apparently I believe his ping would be high, so that would mean that's not good at all. So it's interesting, and he's not even connecting at the moment. That's at least the case is. 28 laps of racing. It's going to be fun. Definitely, I think, as the grid is just being set up, but I believe it can't be set up unless everybody is in as well. You know, until everybody's in, everybody who needs to be where they should be. As soon as they're in, the grid will be set up, and racing will be on. Well, there we go. We are there in there, and and one of them says someone readies up. Right, someone ready up. Alright. They said whoever readies up, punish them. I think it's kind of really that's what it should be, because apparently everybody tells, everybody's told that they shouldn't ready up. They're not really ready. They shouldn't really be readying up, but eventually at the moment, we have no idea who readies up, and these drivers, some of them can't even choose setups, and I think whoever does it, obviously, we can know there's drivers I believe are supposed to, some of them stream. I'm not sure if everybody streams, but if I'm not mistaken, everybody should submit their POE, so for that they're definitely recording. And alright, somebody says that it was them. He says 100 place grid penalty, that's maybe 120 place? And it is Sashi Wind. He says he misclicked. I wonder what's their game name then. Obviously, different names in the game, different name in game, and obviously on Discord. But alright then, we're just waiting for these drivers. Everybody's now in. As soon as the grid is ready, we'll go racing. And toward turn one is really gonna be interesting to see. So surely stay here and keep your eye on, because that turn one for that sprint was very chaotic, and I don't think it's gonna be any less for this main race. Yeah, as it is, as the words, or in the words of Creford, that hits the brake, hit the brakes, and nobody else in turn one really. Just trying to that. But I think it's still not gonna, it's still gonna be problems though, but maybe not as much as it was towards turn one. So it's interesting, but eventually, do we have somebody new? We do have somebody new. There's 20 drivers now in, and James is in. That is James. King James is back in. All right, so for the most part, I was thinking Abhishek is James, but earlier on, James was in there. Okay, interesting. So Abhishek is in, James is in. So definitely they are two different people then. Earlier, I don't know why I really thought that, but that's it then. So we're just waiting it to go racing, ladies and gentlemen, in a couple of moments as everybody is in. 20 out of 20 drivers. No more room for any more people or any more drivers to join in. So hopefully the stream was okay throughout the sprint, and let's hope that's going to be fine for the race as well, as we are now just waiting, so ready to go, and everybody being told, do not ready up please, and eventually let's hope for the best. As drivers are getting a bit upset with the ready up process. I think ready up, everyone should have enough information. Obviously mistakes happen, as Brilliant Batman said that he knocked it off by mistake. But hopefully, let's just hope that nobody does it about right now, because almost every race we've had these complaints around here. And we are now in. No more practice, no more testing, as we are now going to be ready to go racing. Just set up, choose your setups, and go racing. And it is sunny. It is all what the drivers would have wanted for, wished for. Definitely nobody really wants or wishes for a wet race about right now at all, which is definitely not going to be easy at all. Eventually, at the moment. So look at this. It's all sunny out there. The sun is out, and we are about to go racing. And that's actually a lot of time, at least, that we've been waiting for right now, because drivers usually eventually ready up as soon as maybe we're in. At least nobody's readying up right now. So it's sunny, at least at the moment. It's sunny. No clouds out there. It's a clear sky. So they might not have to worry about any more. 28 laps. It depends how many laps these drivers can do. I've seen drivers manage a one-stop on a two-stop race as well. So it depends from driver to driver, obviously, and their abilities of how good can they manage their tires. And we are ready to go racing. Jagu on pole position, as we couldn't get the information earlier on, and look at that. So soft, medium, and the hard tire, everybody starting on. It could be a one-stop race, maybe 20 laps, but we could see a medium hard or a hard medium strategy. But I think 10 laps on these mediums, everybody did, so there might just be enough. I mean, if you could do 10 laps, maybe if you could do 10, 12, or 13 laps on these medium tires, it should be enough Then so Jagu on pole position for this race, starting in P1 after winning the sprint. RD in P2, Juno in P3, and Striker in P4. So it's a one-stop at showing at least hard, medium, and medium hard. It's the other way around, should be the case. Striker in P4, Prototype in P5. Then Raid in P6, a good race from him as well. Then Timur had an amazing sprint and up until that final race and that final lap and that incident. Which knocked him off down the grid in P7. Otherwise, he should have been starting at least inside the top 4. Muscrator in P8, followed by Creford in P9. Then comes Joel in P10, with Abhishek in P11. In that Haas, with the Hart in P12, Maisco in P13, followed by the Mercedes duo of Thunder and Harry, with Batman down in P16, with P17 for David. I think for his sake, you'd hope that he's got his force feedback back about right now. Starting on the hard compound tire, Walday on a set of hards as well in P18. A couple of drivers disqualified of the formation lap. Reaper in P19, then James in P20. So only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 drivers starting on a set of hard tires in this race, and every single one of the other drivers are on a set of medium compound tires. So everybody's looking to start, and they are definitely looking to start nice and easy. So look at this, as many drivers eventually are crashing out on... Alright, so the ready up was still an early ready up, which is interesting, as I was saying that at least it was stopped for a little bit more than than the race earlier on. But it was still not a ping. It was not pinged out to be readied up. So definitely the problem continues on for a not a ready up start. And the drivers starting on their own apparently, which is not a good thing, and the drivers are not really happy about it. But you can't do much about it right now, rather than do everything you can and wish for a greater start. It's going to be Jaku, RD, Juno, Striker, followed by Prototype and Raid in the top 6 of this one. One more time, as we're this time ready to go racing for the main race here at the Chinese Grand Prix. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights are going to be out. The lights were out for a little bit longer too. Jaku's going to try and get a good start. What a good start for Gamer as well. Up front, he's going to go already on the inside line, try and defend, heading towards turn 1, as Juno's going to go for it around the outside of the Ferrari. That was a brave move, absolutely, as the Ferrari makes contact with the Red Bull, and there was a Prototype and the Ferrari and the Red Bull of Striker would have had a bit of a contact as well, as RD Gamer and Juno's going to be there as well. They're almost side by side, will-to-will action between the two for a moment. Prototype in P4, he's jumped up a place, he's going to go for it on the inside line, he's going to go for it around the outside then eventually. Not quite sure what is happening as cars are moving left and right on their own at the moment. Prototype in P4, Striker in P5 is going to just try and stay ahead of Raid there. He's going to stay ahead of Raid as Kratos overtaken ahead of Timur there as well. Timur not got a good start as well in P8 at the moment, but just hasn't been able to gain a position. P9 and 10 for the Alpine duo of Mark and Joel, as Maisco in P11 at the moment nearly loses the car on the exit, as Joel's going to go super wide, then might allow Maisco to get past him. Not just yet at the moment. With Hart in P11, P12 is trying to get past Abhishek. Abhishek on the inside line, Hart on the inside line. And that's going to be a move done for Hart out there. P14 and 15 for Thunder, and Harry continues on up front. There might be an opportunity for Abhishek to get past the Ferrari. Will he get past the Ferrari? This is going to be an opportunity though. There might just be an opportunity, and there will be one. He's going to switch to the inside line. He's going to get past the Ferrari. In fact, Hart is going to brake absolutely later. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, it is Masquerator who spun round without a front wing on his car, and he's on his own. As there is David out there as well. I don't think he was involved in there. He was on his own. But Kratos is going to head towards the into the pit lane straight away as the problem continues on. Creford is into the pits as well. Early pit stop for these drivers. Lucky enough there's no safety car here on in, but maybe be it maybe the start of the lap in lap turn 1, or be the final sector, then the end of the lap. The incidents find their way on lap 1 here in China, as Thunder is going to try and have an opportunity. He's got past. Meanwhile, Harry, his teammates, also got past a couple of cars as well around the outside, or Healy's going to send it on the inside line. Joel and Harry going to make contact, and Joel runs super wide as they're going to be side by side. Meanwhile, Batman's right out of the session, and that's a safety car that we were just talking about. It's at least not going to be a full safety car, but it is indeed going to be a virtual safety car, and already 2 drivers are out of it, as James, who just joined in the session for the feature race, is out, and now the safety car has gone from virtual to the full course caution safety car. And Jagu, who led by over 1.9 seconds, his lead isn't going to now come down, and a safety car that, with the amount of aggressiveness these drivers were showing, eventually ends up front about right now. Then a safety car is now out. That is obviously not what we were all looking for. I mean, 20 drivers on the grid, China. Maybe we were looking for it, but I think just to turn 1, there is not a lot of spaces, or there's not a lot of places on the track where the cars would crash. Obviously, 20 drivers, so a couple of cars, but that's actually just normal Formula 1 grid. You know, it's not like 30 or 40 cars that would, you know, just make it a bit harder for drivers to really, you know, crashing out in one another. But that's interesting. Then Thunder P10 for him as well. He's going to have to serve, and Harry's into the pit lane. Walday is into the pit lane as well. So a couple of drivers into the pits at the moment along the McLaren of Walday, as he's into the pits. He was having issues earlier, and in fact he's got an issue once more. He's got no front wing M plates on his car, so he's going to change that front wing on that McLaren. So not a lot of drivers pit apart from these few at the back. Only 2 laps in though, so that would be the reason, you know, they've not just pitted. So it's obviously not the actual safety car window at the moment, even for these drivers to pitch, which would be a little bit later, not about right now, which would simply be a reason they have not pitted. And again, once more the issues continue on, and the problems are staying, which apparently, you know, there were. So at the moment, no problems gets fixed once more as the issues are on. Lap 3 out of 28. James has now left that session as well. So at the 20 drivers start and only 18 remain already. As Jagu leads ahead of Juno, ahead of Prototype in P3. He's got a top 3 then with RD in P4, followed by Striker in P5. Raid in P6. Timur has gained a place in P7. Maisco in P8 at the moment. Abhishek in P9, just in the top 10. Joel completes out the top 10 in P8. Reaper in P11. He's got a brilliant start. Then from P19, Hart in P12, and David in P13 as well, followed by Harry in P14. Walday in P15, followed by Mark, Moscrator, Thunder completing out the 18-car grid. James and Batman are out of this one. So lap 4, possibly, if safety car comes in, the grid is almost bunched up apart from Thunder, who's 19 seconds behind. The safety car could just be going in about at the end of this lap, so a lap 5 restart could be on the way, or if it stays out one more lap, a lap 6 restart would just be what we would get. So but till then, still a lot of laps would be remaining to the end. Still a lot of laps would eventually remain for these drivers to go racing. They've already went racing. Remember, they've already done 10 laps of racing, but that was a different race. That was the sprint, as now it is. And at the moment, they're all going to be looking for one thing, and that'll be just green flags. At least those looking to race, those looking to have fun, would be wanting to go racing. And once more, you just enjoy, looking for the enjoyment, which obviously we had for the main for the sprint. for the main race, and I wonder if the stream's having issues at the moment. The speed seems fine, and it's green on the signal as well, so not quite sure. Maybe it was just not being played okay on my phone then. That could well be an issue. Do let me know in the comments if it's go okay or not, or even if it's having any issues for all of you watching out there then. So lap 4 out of 28, ladies and gentlemen. Safety car might just be coming in this lap at the end of it, and as soon as in, we'll be going racing. But by the looks of it, it might not just be coming into the pits, or in fact, it is going to be coming into the pits, and we are all ready to go racing. Jakku leads ahead of Juno, ahead of Prototype with RD, and Striker completing out the top 10. He's still not went for it, He's in first gear, second gear is Juno in. He's going to try and caught him up, he's going to try and catch him up. When does he go? Where does he go? And he's went for it just about now. Has he got it enough though? Has he got a good restart though? As it looks like he might have just have though so far at least. Heading towards turn 1, the Red Bull might just put that pressure on the Haas driver. Not at the moment. Prototype's got a decent start as well. Or has he? Has he done super wide heading towards turn 1? Might be an opportunity for RD to get past him. Not just yet. Meanwhile, at the back of the field, it's going to be Timur and Maisco going for it, fighting each other as well. They're going to be side by side. The two drivers are going to be will to will between the two. That almost pushes him wide, does Maisco, but still they're going to be will to will. The Haas of Abhishek is right behind these guys as well. On the inside line, Timur's going to go for it. He sent it on. He just gives him enough space. Almost turned in on him or something as they just make a bit of a contact, but they're all going to be back at it. And that position for Timur is lost at the moment in P8 so far, obviously. Remember an early mistake he made. Meanwhile, the McLaren is going to be making that move on Williams of David, who's going to have to concede that place. Muscrator's down in P14. Remember, he had an incident just before the safety car was called out, as he's in P14 at the moment. People crashed into him as, look at that, or maybe he crashed into people, not quite, just don't know yet, but we just had an incident. Meanwhile, we talk about Harry's going to try and get past the Ferrari of Hart. He's nearly doesn't get past him, as he's going to get the opportunity once more. The DRS will definitely be disabled, obviously, on this lap, as it was just the safety car that went in on this one. And now right from the back, it is going to be Masquerator. They're going to be 3 wide. Is it going to be the Ferrari? Is it going to be the Williams? Oh, in fact, the Williams of Reaper is going to be there. He nearly gets touched up by the Ferrari from the back of it. He's going to try and come back at him, as the McLaren's going to be there around the outside as well. He's going to try and let others get past, and he is going to get past. But no, Hart is going to come into the pit lane. He's got the front wing end plate missing, and we have another safety car here. And we do, ladies and gentlemen, as one Reaper's Williams is at the moment not sure what exactly happened to him. Seems okay, but as a couple of more drivers as he heads straight towards the barrier there. That was almost Lewis Hamilton's 2007 incident, which was obviously gravel around here, and that was nearly a problem of Reaper, as Harry's into the pits as well. Hart is in, and not a lot of drivers still into the pit lanes, but maybe they pit lane, but they would have just been past the pit lane entry by the time it was it. The medium tire runners might just try and pit up out right now. Obviously, a lot of laps still remain, only 6 laps in out of 28, so a lot of action is still pending, and obviously one not happy with the other, and the Williams was touched up from behind though. Remember, you know, there was 3 wide drivers going, and not quite sure what exactly had happened, but the Williams of Reaper was, you know, tapped from the Ferrari of Hart. You know, from the Ferrari of Hart, so that was a bit of a tap from the Ferrari to the Williams, but eventually then the Williams drivers has to pit as well. But I wonder if he's got some rear wing damage as well, or at least the rear end damaged, because obviously no physical damage or no damage that shows up on screen, but obviously the damage could be on. As definitely now the time is in, as our race leader is into the pit lane, but Juno has continued on. Prototype is going to come in as well, along with RD. Everybody follows in. The 2 Red Bull teammates stay out. A bold call, considering you're fighting each other, but maybe they're going to go for a little bit of a different one at the moment. With the things looking it out, the 2 Red Bulls stay out, Maisco stays out, Timur stays out on a set of hard tires. All right then, so Striker on a set of hards, You could understand he's staying out, but Juno is not. Juno on a set of mediums. He's still staying out as well. Abhishek stays out, along with Masquerator, who pitted earlier on, I believe. So now looking at details, stops. All right, then Masquerator, Creford has pitted, and everybody at the back has pitted as well. 2 stops for the 2 Mercedes teammates. Apparently now everybody almost going on to a set of hard tires. Meanwhile, Hart goes on to a set of mediums, which is interesting. He's got a 10-second time penalty, and then Creford has got a drive-through penalty, which is interesting. He couldn't pit for that drive-through penalty, obviously drive through the pit lane just yet. And yeah, which is interesting as without looking at things, definitely drivers not happy with one or the other. Lap 7 out of 28, still a lot remains in this one. And, you know, it's a sprint that brings you all the action. And we had 10 laps of the sprint, which obviously we did 10 laps all the route that it was done. We're only 7 laps in, and only a few laps we've gone racing. Otherwise, all of them has been under the safety car. All of the racing laps have, all the laps have been, not all, but basically, you know, many of them have been under the safety car. So not many racing laps have eventually taken action about right now, which is interesting. The safety car obviously is going to stay out. Still staying out this lap. I think a lap 9 restart would be on the way. It's definitely the safety car is indeed staying out about right now. So lap 8 and we'll go on to. So a lap 9 restart would be on. So pretty much first half of the race is going to be out. And 20 laps then would remain. So 20 laps out of 28 laps out of 28 are gone. So towards the end, we'll have 20 laps of racing for these drivers to do. And those laps are going to be hopefully, those are without any incidents, or at least without a safety car. And we could see some racing action out on track, which we apparently haven't been able to do just about right now. So as soon as the safety car is in and we're ready to go racing with green flags out, we'll be back. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the information earlier on. Earlier on, we had a pretty early stop. So, not early stop, but eventually a safety car. We got to know later that it's going to be in. But now we've got it early, and Juno is going to be ready. And already the 2 Red Bull teammates are a little bit far from each other, rather from everybody else. But obviously you can't speed up until the safety car is into the pit lane. And only then you're ready to go, as Juno leads ahead of Striker and Maisco MP3. As we're ready to go racing here at the Chinese Grand Prix once more as we go. As we get the restart for the second time, and what a restart from Maisco there. He was almost side by side in double file going against the Red Bull. They're going to be will to will for a Bates as he just does enough to cut him off. Not just yet, in fact, as Maisco's going to get the inside line into turn 2. They're nearly going to make contact. The Aston Martin and the Red Bull. He's going to get a better start. He's going to try and get a better restart. He does get it in the end. Obviously, both the drivers on a set of old tyres. Remember, 8 laps on these hard compounds. As looks up, does the Aston Martin. He's going to go a little bit wide, and that's going to allow the Red Bull to get past him as he's absolutely legging out there. And he's going to get past the Aston Martin. He's going to still stay there as Timur's going to get past him as well. Brilliantly done from the RB. He's got some absolutely great speed out there. He's going to get past Maisco as well. I mean, the front drivers at the front are all going at it. I mean, obviously all those behind the safety car and all those who pitted in during the safety car obviously got done 2 laps on their tires as well, which obviously won't be racing laps, so not much of tire wear they'll have, but still somewhat wear on their tires. And definitely the Red Bull striker was caught by him, but not really able to lose that position, and brilliantly did striker there, as now even Abhishek is going to get past Maisco as well. Maisco is still going to be staying with him. They're still going to be on toll together. He's going to go to the outside line. They're going to be side by side. He goes late on the brakes. Does he get ahead of him? No, not just yet. There's still going to be will to will between the two. Is it going to be the Haas? Is it going to be the Aston Martin into the final corner? And it is going to be the Haas, as Maisco goes absolutely wide, and that will just allow for Abhishek to get a breath of fresh air. And we're going to get past him. Masquerade is now going to try and get past his teammate, but can he do it easy? Because Maisco has given, maybe he's not able to keep up, but he's still given a bit of a hard time to everybody around to really race him, to really, you know, make it a little bit hard for everybody around. As it shows caution in the top overlay, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not caution at all, which obviously is the game bug. On F1 24, it never used to go away after a safety car came in and then it went in, came out and then went in. But on F1 25, it does go back, but not very early, I believe. So that is interesting, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen, as we are out and about right now. Lap 10 out of 28 at the back of the field. There's going to be overtakes. Meanwhile, Timur is into P3, but remember, these guys have not pitted from P1 to P5. They are yet to pit. Masquerade is on all tires, but he has pitted. He pitted early on, just before the first safety car came in. I believe it was because of his incident. Meanwhile, Abhishek is going to try and get past Timur. One on the medium tire, the other on the hard compound tire. The medium tire is almost going to win against the hard tire runner. There's still going to be will to will. Very good late on the late brakes from Timur as well. This is going to be will to will. They nearly made contact heading towards turn 1. Timur is going to get that lead, get their position back again and into P3. Meanwhile, Jagu and Masquerade is going to be at it. Obviously, Masquerade are on 8-lap-old hard tyres. 9-lap-old hard tyres now heading towards turn 1. They're going to be will to will between the two on the same amount of tyres, but the tyre deficit is a little quite big and nearly loses out as the Haas driver there, but that was not a losing out at all, and that is interesting to see. Somewhat drivers lacking, at least we're getting that, which is not a good thing, but hopefully it's all okay out on track at the moment. Meanwhile, the two drivers, and these are the two Red Bulls at the front, are leading 1-2, which is brilliant so far for the Red Bull team. Obviously, they are not, they're yet to pit, obviously, in this race. I think possibly, maybe they're hoping for another safety car, because if there's another safety car at the moment, it's going to be a brilliant, ideal situation for at least all those on a set of mediums, because especially, let's say, Abhishek, as you know, and even Joel, who hasn't pitted just yet. Harry's on 5-lap-old mediums, but all those on 10-lap-old hard mediums, or even hard tire runners, would be a great opportunity. Let's say, Masquerade or 9-lap-old hards, but if he pits right now for a set of hards, it should be okay to go to the end of the race if he's able to take it easy. A striker waited a couple of laps behind his teammate. He's going to get past his teammate about right now. Those medium tires, over 10 laps on them, or is he just about past his teammate? Juno might try and come back at him eventually, not about right now. Meanwhile, there's yellow flag at the back. Not quite sure what is happening out and about. The Ferrari of Hart in P15 has done over 4 laps on these soft compound tires. There's a couple of different trains of these guys. Meanwhile, Waldo is going to try and get past the Alpine. He's going to get past the Alpine into turn 1, send it on the inside line, and he will get past him. 2 McLarens, and both of them are running a different livery. Raid is running the normal livery, and Walday is running the base, the special livery from McLaren. Meanwhile, Hart is going to go for it around the outside against Joel. They're going to be side by side, and nearly loses the car. Does Hart there on the exit. Almost made contact as well, these two. But just about safe about right now. The top 3 are at it, and Timur is now only 5 tenths to Juno, so he might just get past Juno in a little bit time. Abhishek in P4, he's just ahead of Prototype and RD Gamer. This little field of cars is now just bunching up to the front of the field, as these guys have eventually pitted. Have Prototype and RD Gamer, Masquerader as well, so definitely all those drivers who made pit stops are getting closer there. So, Maisco hasn't pitted as well. So Maisco, along with Joel, has not pitted. Meanwhile, Prototype's going to try and get past, and he will get past the Haas of Abhishek. And does he not have a front wing? He does have a front wing. For a moment, I thought he does not. Meanwhile, at the back, there was an incident. There might have been a bit of an incident out there, as there's been a contact between Jagu and Masquerator, maybe, as Jagu's going to get ahead and get past Masquerator. An overtake is done on that Haas driver. It was quite dark around there, so it was not easy to actually recognize what exactly happened. I just saw a bit of a not dust, or that basically that debris effect this game has, which is not top class, but I did saw a little bit of it. Meanwhile, the two Haas teammates, Abhishek and Jagu, are going to be going P6 and 7. I think Abhishek is going to let Jagu get past him. Oh, in fact, does he, though? He runs absolutely wide. He might have not wanted to do that, though, but he's going to run a little bit wide. He's going to have to fight for it, in fact. 6-lap-old hards versus 12-lap-old mediums. This is going to be side by side. Abhishek is absolutely going for it. Remember, these are your constructors' leaders, ladies and gentlemen, so they want to keep this lead. They would want to achieve very good results. And Jagu at the moment is not able to get past his teammate, and now Masquerator, Masquerator's right behind these guys. Harry and Raid are out there as well. So all these drivers right behind are arriving, which could cause trouble, who could cause eventually a bit of trouble for everyone at the back as well. Won't cause the trouble at the back, but rather at the front between the two teammates. I think Jagu's going to try and get past Abhishek finally about right now, but will he let him get past though? Yes, I think he'll have to let him past with the help of that rear wing open on the Haas of Jagu, as Timur's going to try and get past the Ripple of Juno. It turns a little bit wide, but is it going to be enough though? Is he going to allow Juno to come back at him on the set of medium tires? No, medium versus hards at the moment. All of these drivers continue on, and without a safety car pit stop, they're all trying to do a normal pit entry, normal pit window, as Abhishek is now going to come in on those sets of medium compound tires into the pits, along with Joel, who's into the pits as well. So definitely the medium tire runners are in, and the grip for them is gone. Meanwhile, Juno in P3 still continues on, having done 13 laps on these medium compound tires. At the back of the midfield, it's going to be Raid and Masquerator, going to be wheel to wheel. Nearly made contact once more, these two bang wheels. A bit of time deficit, 5-lap time deficit for Raid. Is it going to be enough to get past Masquerator? It should be just about right now, and he's going to be able to maintain his P7, but for how long though? Because Creator's going to come back at him. Creator's going to try and come back at him in no time. About right now, the all tires are definitely affecting the Red Bull now, as RD is now right behind the Red Bull of Juno as well. He might just about be about to overtake him in no time. Maisco's going to try and get past his teammate. Maisco seems to be an aggressive driver here, to say the least, eventually, because he's not really, maybe not that fast, but he's eventually losing positions, but then he's also making those dive bombs and being there. So a bit of an aggressive driver out there, as Juno's now got past him, and Juno's lost out the position to Creator and to... No, in fact, he's not lost out to Creator, he's lost out to Gamer at the moment. He's lost out to Timur earlier on the previous lap, and he's now lost out to RD as well, who's into P3, and that problem on Juno is still going to be on, as Prototype's going to be right behind the Red Bull as well. He's going to try and get past him as soon as possible. About right now, is it going to be the case? Not just yet, we do not know, but for how long or when, it might just about be right now, as around the outside goes Juno. Prototype, they're going to be side by side, or in fact no, he runs a little bit wide, but gets the overtake done, and into P4 comes Prototype. He's on 8-lap-old hard tires, but he has pitted, remember. Meanwhile, Jagu, who pitted as well along with these guys, is down in P6. So at the moment, as soon as the top two pit, the lead is going to be going to RD and Prototype. That's the net lead of this race. Eventually, Jaguar's right behind these guys. Obviously, Juno's going to be getting out of the way, so that's going to be the eventual top three of this race. But at least for now, it's going to be the case. Meanwhile, Maisco, having done over 14 laps on these hard compound tyres, still going on. Cause a bit of yellow flag as well, I believe. But it is all on as we're 15 laps in out of 28, so we're nearly halfway distance done of this one, and half more is to be done as Maisco's going to be there. Does he get the rear wing open? Yes, he does on that Aston Martin. There's a couple of an overtake, but I want to check whether Maisco goes for it about right now. No, he doesn't. He was far too behind, so it would have been way too aggressive. Meanwhile, at the front, Juno's going to finally come into the pit lane. You know, about right now. So Juno just about comes in about right now into this pit lane at the moment. And definitely I'm back. I think my mic monitoring was turned off for some reason. Driving like open lobby, says one of the drivers. So definitely, you know, they say as 28 laps there are to race, but obviously everybody wants to do all they can as Timur's going to be in a bit of trouble, and he will be in a bit of trouble as a tyre deficit of Jagu is going to win him the position against Timur. 15 laps on these R's, nearly loses it on that curb as well, but just about keeps it there. I think he is honestly one of the drivers that has overall has really impressed me personally, to be honest, even in the sprint race and about right now as well. Meanwhile, Maisco and Waldo are going for it. They're going to be side by side, wheel to wheel, and they're going to run very wide. Absolutely pushes him a bit wide, does Maisco. They almost bang wheels there as he's going to be in P10. And definitely a lot of drivers haven't pitted before the safety car, some during the safety car and some not even pitting just yet, and that is Striker, who is not yet pitted, is now Timur. Oh, in fact, no! Timur has not pitted. For a moment, I thought he was pitted, but he's just losing out positions. He keeps losing out these positions at the moment. He was up at the front, but definitely as soon as those drivers on brand new tires come in, he's going to lose out positions. Is he going to come into the pits right now? No, in fact, he still stays out. Meanwhile, Waldo, he's going to try and get past the McLaren. He does get past the McLaren, or does he, though? They're going to be side by side. As I said, Waldo in the McLaren gets past the Aston Martin, but in fact, no, he doesn't get past him about right now at all. And the aggressiveness of Maisco I was talking about still continues on. 16 laps on these hard tires. 16 laps, ladies and gentlemen. And now, finally, Waldo is going to go for it on the inside line, heading towards turn one. He's going to get the overtake done, and no, once more, Maisco's going to come around the outside. He's going to get the inside line about right now into turn two. They're nearly going to make wing wheels and almost make him get a spin to the Aston Martin, and the McLaren is finally ahead of the Aston Martin. But are we going to see Maisco go late on the brakes once more? Not about right now. Definitely, he's fighting it all. He's fighting all the time. He's not really backing out at all. He keeps fighting. He keeps going for it out there, which is, interestingly, he's after the position again and again. Lap 17 out of 28. So now, all those who haven't pitted should be coming into the pits in a little bit time. And all those even on those hard tires should be coming into the pits again for the second time. Another second time, but eventually, or in fact, will it? Oh, it actually will be the second time. So it will in fact be a two-stop race then, which earlier, without the safety car, we would have thought that's going to be a one-stop hard, medium, and medium hard. But now, I think they don't need to pit. Maybe all those, 10 laps on those hards might do another 10 on those, but obviously for a better chance, and you know that if you could get put a set of medium tires on, you'd be flying around. So they'll try and fly around. Meanwhile, RD in P1 at the moment. Lap 11 lap on these hard tires. Striker, who hasn't pitted just yet. Pitted very late as well in that Red Bull, as now Striker is at lap 17 laps on these hard tires. As Jagu is going to go super wide, and that might allow Prototype to get past the Red Bull. He might just try and get past the Red Bull, or really be able to get past the Red Bull, though. The tire deficit is going to be on, but it might just not be enough for Striker to lose that position. As he does get past, as Hard gets a fastest lap at the moment, having done only 4 laps on those hard compound tires. So definitely those tyres are relatively newer than anybody in this race, apart from Yuno, who's got a two-lap on these hard compound tyres. Racing action is on, and I wonder somebody's made a mistake, and that has to be RD, who's made a huge mistake out there then, and he's lost not 1, 2, 3, but many positions, and that means as soon as Striker pits in and comes into the pit lane, it is going to be Prototype who's going to lead the Chinese Grand Prix. Raid is in P11 as well, as Striker finally comes into the pit lane now, and that should be his one and only stop in this race. It'll be interesting to see where does he come out, where does he end up. You know, Timur has now just went into the pits as well, so he's followed in the Red Bull of Striker for a set of pit stop. Junior team and the senior team pitting in about right now. As Raid is going to be there. Raid and Prototype are going to be all at it. Raid definitely wants this one as well. He wants the opportunity. He wants the opportunity around the outside, and he gets the opportunity. And he's going to get that move done about right now. And a three-way fight for the race win is on out there, ladies and gentlemen. Three-way fight for the race victory is going to be on your screens. We're all there to witness this and bring you all the action. And brilliant job so far. They're all going to try and do. How good is it going to be? Which is, they're all showing us almost of how good exactly it is going to be at the moment. Which is obviously about right now. Lap 19 out of 28, just about 10 laps. A little less than 10 laps still remain in this race, and we are on for it. 5 tenths between the two. Jagu 5 tenths to Prototype as well. So definitely heading to the end of this straight and into the corner to the right-hander, as the Raid is already going to move to the inside line. He's going to be feeling that pressure. He tries to come back to the racing line. He nearly covers off Prototype there, and he does almost cover him off, but he goes absolutely wide. That's going to allow Prototype to get a better exit, and he does get the better exit, and around the outside is going to get the job done. Heading towards turn 1, he leads the Grand Prix, and he takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix, and Prototype leads at China, but Raid is going to be right behind him. Heading towards turn 1, there's going to be another opportunity for Raid, and there's still going to be will to will between the two. Both of them on same amount of tires, same amount of laps on these tires, along with Jagu as well. Couple of laps were on the safety car and retired. Maisko has retired, and with that, another safety car has came in. Safety car number 3 in this race, and retirement number 3 as well. Maisko, the aggressor we were talking about, has eventually retired out of this race and caused the safety car about right now. And I wonder if he crashed on his own, has caused or has caused issues along with others, which is going to be interesting to see. But safety car number 3, when we were just eventually thinking about the last 10 laps are going to be it. But the safety car now is in, and another few laps behind it, so that possibly would mean only 6 or 7 laps now towards the end of the Grand Prix will remain. It's 5 or 6 racing laps, ladies and gentlemen, in this one then. Prototype leads. I wonder if they pit though, because if they pit, then the likes of Juno's got 4 laps on those hard. Striker, 1 lap on the mediums, could go to the lead. Abhishek and Pete sent Timur P11 on brand new mediums as well. A couple of other drivers around them, so which is going to be just about interesting. But to see that, and Creford has got another drive-through penalty. I believe he had one earlier as well, so I wonder if he's got another one then. Which is interesting to see, but safety car number 3 is out. Racing action was brilliant between these drivers towards these laps, and brilliant racing from all of them out there, but eventually a crash from a driver. Maisko, James and Batman are all the drivers who are out of this Grand Prix. Lap 20 out of 28, and all the top 4 drivers are going to come into the pits. Where are the Red Bull? So looking at this then, Kratos going to come in as well. Thunder stayed out, which is a brave decision, as Ardy's going to go into a set of soft tyre, which is interesting to see. Obviously, not a lot of laps remain, so a set of softs towards the end is going to be interesting. But where's the Red Bull of Juno? Where's the Red Bull of Juno? and he's just about in P4. Meanwhile, Striker is into the pits once more and is going to go on to a set of another medium. Interesting choice. The soft tire is not bad, but still, I think the soft tire just doesn't give you the margin of being behind the safety car or just pushing a bit way too much. You know, on the medium tire, you know, even if 6 laps or 7 laps are remaining, you'd be pushing and you'd be like, all right, I can push and I'll still have, you know, enough grip towards the end of the race. In fact, you know, maybe it's not going to be as much as it was at the start of the stint, but still it's going to be more. Meanwhile, the soft tire, if you just push a little bit more than you should within 3 to 4 laps, and the tire could just be gone, and the rest of the lap you could just be a sitting duck and hoping for the race to eventually finish. So, which is a big reason eventually, you know, for everyone to see of what exactly is going on and what is really going to be happening. And a driver on his own in this race. And a driver on his own in this race, which is David so far. Hopefully the mic and everything is running out because... All right. So hopefully Maisco's left the session. He's retired out. Looks like the speeds have decided to drop again. I'm hoping it was not the case, at least for the time that we were having a couple of drivers race around. Because, which is interesting, it's just not stable at all. It's all at the top for a couple of laps, but it comes down right, then it's going back to normal eventually, but for how long, just don't know yet. So then look at this, as it is. So far, we've got 3 retirements. That T20 started and 17 remain. And up at the front, Thunder leads ahead of Prototype in P2, followed by Raid in P3. Thunder, remember, he is not pitted and he's got a drive-through penalty as well, I believe, or 10 seconds. He's got a drive-through penalty, so he's definitely going to be pitting the penalties. It's 3 seconds for David and drive-through to Creford and Thunder, so that's going to be these drivers having to pit, and that then means he's going to be anyways getting out of the way. So mixed of tires, 3 on a set of 3 on a set of softs, 5 on a set of hards, and everybody else on a set of medium compound tires for the end of the Grand Prix, for the end of this brilliant race, which we've just absolutely had, ladies and gentlemen, which is interesting to see. For how long it's going to be the case and how good is this going to be by these drivers, that is a question of time really at the moment. But look at that. So far, lap 22 out of 28. I wonder if the safety car is going to come in this lap about right now. So lap 23 restart, which could be the case, or if it stays out about right now, a lap 24 restart. We got to know about the safety car coming in about right here. On the previous safety car, the moment it continues on, doesn't let us know. So it's still going to be interesting to see whether the safety car comes in about right now or it stays out one more lap, and a lap 24 restart is going to be on our cards. So one more lap. The safety car has decided to stay in. That means lap 24 restart, and that will then mean 5 laps to the end of the Grand Prix. 5 laps of racing. That is just about a 5-lap race towards the end of the Grand Prix, and you can only imagine how chaotic and how how much the drivers are going to be pushing around. Hopefully, it's going to be still a bit clean, but nothing's guaranteed really with how the sprint race was, only having 10 laps, so the 5 laps to the end. Everybody's gonna want to win. From Thunder, who's already out, but then Prototype, Ray, Juno, Jagu, RD, Abhishek, Timur, Valdos, and Striker. Everybody inside the top 10. Even Mouse Crater could have a chance as well, so that is going to be interesting to see. And Definitely, it's the action you won't want to miss. It's the action, everybody. Nobody would want to win or not want to miss, but hopefully it's as clean as we are hoping for. So as soon as we're ready to go racing and we are red, we've got the green flags and we're ready to go restart. We're ready to restart for the third time in this Chinese GP. We'll be picking up back for the action. Out on. All right, then we've just got to know the safety car is in, but it's an interesting combination of in the first safety car we nearly got to know it just before the final corner. In the second safety car it was around this straight, and in the third safety car it's before this straight. So it'll be still interesting to see, still interesting to know what exactly is going on. There we go, then we are ready to go racing. We've lost out 3 drivers, and there's going to be one more time for the third time this Grand Prix. It's going to be a safety car restart as Thunder is going to be on it up at the front as Prototype's going to get it. He's got a very good start as well. Meanwhile, Juno is going to be at the very back of Raid, heading towards turn 1. It's going to be an opportunity for him to get past. Not just yet about right now. Meanwhile, Jagu hasn't been able to get it up front as well as Rauty's going to try and get it past. And it would have been fun to see what Maisco could do around. I mean, he was racing nice and easy. I mean, he was racing nicely. He was still being, despite being on older hard tires, he was absolutely giving it everything. So there was some great racing. Meanwhile, Raid is going to be out up at the front. And look at that, that's carnage. Oh, 5 cars out there, almost 6 cars in front. With RD and P4 is going to go for on the inside line. Jagu's going to be round the outside. Meanwhile, for the second place, it's going to be Raid. And Thunder are going to be at it as well. He's anyways going to drive through penalty, but still, he's in there to spoil the fun for some of them. And he did just spoil the fun as RD is almost going to be spun round. And Jagu's out of the Grand Prix as RD Gamer just picks up the space and speed as we're back up with another safety car. That is absolutely epic at the moment. Safety car number 4. Number 4, ladies and gentlemen. As now RD has got a drive-through penalty as well. A couple of more drivers with a penalty. And now lap 24 out of 28. And that is interesting as we were just talking about how it is and how we've got 6 drivers almost fighting up at the front. Now we've lost out another one. 4 drivers out of the Grand Prix. Prototype leads the Grand Prix. He's got another opportunity to win around here. Remember, he got the P2 back in Bahrain, and he hasn't been on the podium ever since, I believe. So another chance, good chance for him not only to be on the podium, but to win Raid. Has got a brilliant race as well in P2 at the moment. RD in P3, but a drive-through penalty for the Ferrari driver, and he's on a set of softs as well, so definitely his softs might just not have enough speed. Now, a lot of drive-through penalties then. 3 drivers got drive-through penalties. With 2 10 seconds, with 3 seconds to 2 of them as well. So that is a couple of penalties. Meanwhile, Mark Creford and Abhishek are into the pits, which is interesting to see. Meanwhile, lap 25 out of 28 at the moment is continuing on. And look at this, so Prototype leads up ahead of Raid and Gamer in P3. Juno and Striker in P4 and 5, the 2 Red Bull teammates, are going to be at it as well. And apparently this is decided to drop again. But let's see, as apparently Not sure what exactly is eventually going on. As definitely not a lot of drivers were not happy about the racing standards tonight, so it'll be interesting. I think everybody would get a chance to review, everybody would get a chance to revive it up. Eventually, hopefully the stream is okay for the final part of the race, as good as it has been for the first part of this, pretty much for the whole race. But the safety car, I wonder if it's going to stay out again. Not sure whether it stays out about right now, or does he come in? Okay, it doesn't come into the pits about right now, but it should be coming into the pits in a few moments' time, I believe, which is going to be... So lap 26 out of 28, ladies and gentlemen. According to my experience, the safety car should be coming in about right now, as it's already the end of the Grand Prix, already the end of this race. So it should be coming in at the end of this lap. So that means a lap 27, 2 laps towards the end of this race is going to be on. Anybody can win. Anybody can take the crown home. That's what everybody has, in fact, been fighting for just about right now. Who's going to be taking it home, though? That is just not confirmed yet. That is not yet known. Could be Prototype, could be RD, could be Raid, RD, Juno. RD's just got a drive-through penalty, so we'll just get him out. Juno, Striker, Thunder's got a drive-through penalty as well. All well done, maybe P7, so up until from everyone from P1 to P7. It could be taking the crown, but I think the two Red Bull drivers, Raid and Prototype, will realistically have the chance at it, will realistically have the opportunity for it, in my opinion, with the amount of laps remaining, as the safety car is now going to be out. Prototype has managed to get a very good safety car restart up until this point. He's got 3 of them before, got a decent restart for every time. Can he get it around this time, though? Because this is the test. This is where it all begins, and it's all the pressure that he's got, because any mistake at this moment, no time to recover, no time to come back or do or undo what you just had done. So eventually, it is about right now. He gets an excellent restart. Along with that, Ray, Dardy, Juno, and Striker, all of them out there will be trying their best as well. All of them will be after getting a best safety car restart, because for the 4th time in the Grand Prix, we're at it, and with 4 safety cars later, we're going for a restart, and he's not just yet went for it at the moment. Raid earlier on got a very good restart, and he's just went for it about right now. Prototype, has he got a good start, though? Because Raid is right behind him, and maybe towards turn 1, there could be an opportunity for him to go for it. No. Not just yet, so he might be clear, he might be okay, he might be Prototype, but he does go a little bit wide. Nearly allows for Raid to get past him. That just doesn't yet get past him at all. There's so much chaos at the back as Abhishek's going to make contact with some of the drivers at the back. There's a lot going on. You know, P10 for Hart, as he's going to lose out positions at the back. These other drivers as well. It's all going on at this point. Timur is going to try and get past the Mercedes of... Thunder. He does get past him in the moment. Waldo has lost out. In fact, no, he's in P6 already. He's in fact gained a position. 2 Red Bull teammates, 5 and 4, are out there. RD in P3. Meanwhile, the top 2 are at it. 2 separate only the 2. It is going to be either Raid or is it going to be our Prototype who takes crown of victory here at China. One more lap after this one. Meanwhile, Masquerade is going to get past the Red Bull of Striker, and now Timur might be out there as well. He's going to go for the inside line, and all the positions lost for the Red Bull of Striker there. I wonder if one of them was touched up from behind, because there was a bit of tap, it felt like, for one of the cars out there. Careford's out. Careford's out of the Grand Prix, nearly into the back of the Williams. It goes one of the cars in already. Eventually, there's a bit of a scare from EA to us, but thank God that is no issues out here as Abhishek's going to try and get past the Mercedes. He's past the Mercedes about right now, and a lot of the issues as they're still on, as now Weldo is going to get past Juno, so definitely the two Red Bulls are struggling, and they're absolutely struggling well. Masquerade is going to go for the inside line. Nearly goes on the inside of the McLaren, but doesn't get past him, or does he though? Because he's going to get past the McLaren around the outside of the turn 2. Gets the job done, being on a set of medium tyres. He's going to be on 12 laps for Juno on those hards. Definitely not going to be enough. Along with Striker 7 lap on the mediums. Looks like to be job done. But meanwhile at the front of the field, lap 28 out of 28. After all the action, all the laps that we have been played for, it is still up on the line. Not just known that who's going to be taking victory and who is going to be finishing where. It is all about what can they hold on, what can they really do at this point, because they're all continuing on. At least the top two are at it. Is it going to be Raid? Is it going to be Prototype? The pressure is highest. The pressure is on the shoulders, both the shoulders, in fact, of Prototype to take this victory, to not ruin this victory. The DRS is not going to be enabled because we've just had the safety car about right now. So no rear wing open on that McLaren. But is it going to be enough for Harbour? No, in fact, the rear wing is open on the McLaren. I would have thought it's not going to be enabled, but it was. And Raid might just get it though, around the outside on the exit of turn 14, heading towards turn 1. It's going to be side by side. Prototype does have the inside line though, but who's going to be up to the line? And they're going to be problems as he's going to have an issue nearly to the line. It is going to be RT who's going to go over the line and finish in P1. But that victory, because of the penalty, is going to go to Prototype. He wins the Chinese Grand Prix. That might have just been a controversial end, but there was just a racing incident. Raid, who gave it absolutely everything, comes in P2 with Waldo in P3, and that has to be the best ever finish for McLaren as a team, as it's a 2 and 3, a double podium for McLaren team. Timur, who finishes in P4 as well. A good result for him in the end, with Harry in P5, followed by Juno in P6 in the Red Bull. The Red Bulls have not had the race they would have been looking for. Hart in Ferrari gets P7. Reaper gets good points as well. P8 for him. Joel and Masquerator in P9 and 10. And that, ladies and gentlemen, marks the end of this absolutely chaotic a Chinese Grand Prix. Hope you all watching really enjoyed it, because this was absolutely chaotic, but some great racing to look at as well. It's great as Prototype is at the top and celebrating like why shouldn't he, as he's taking the crown of victory here at the Chinese GP. Get that trophy, shake it up. And the Sauber team is going to be celebrating like all as well. Race winner does get Prototype. Fastest lap, Hart gets it in the end. Driver of the day, all day. Most overtakes for Harry. That is interesting. Cleanest driver, Raid. And has to be done. Brilliantly said. So these are your race results from 5th on the grid. Prototype takes victory. Raid in P2 with Waldo. From 18th on the grid, Waldo with obviously penalties to other drivers, but still managed to get a P3. Timur in P4, P4, P5 for Harry. That is absolutely epic. From 15th on the grid, P6 for Juno. Then it is Hat, Reaper, Joel and Masquerator completing out the top 10. Just outside of Striker in the Red Bull, finishing outside the top 10. And David in P12 with RD with that penalty in P13. Followed by Thunder and Abhishek in P15. Then Mark Crayford in P16 as well. With 4 drivers that we lost were Jagu, Maisco, King James and Batman. We lost out those drivers. Hope you all watching really enjoyed all of this action, because this was some absolute brilliant, yet chaotic, but nice racing out there as well. So that is interesting. And a lot of chaos happened, so definitely expect somewhat penalties to drivers come the next race. So definitely a lot could change here and there, but that's going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen. Then it was myself, Zabe. Hope you all watching this all chaotic racing, yet chaotic here at China. Enjoyed it. What you enjoyed watching.